Hey, everybody. It's Sunday, and I am checking in. It's a pop up. This is not our normal time. We are usually live on Thursdays, right? So you're probably like, what's going on here? Well, I decided on Thursday to take a little bit of a break. And I'll go into that in just a second. Let me introduce myself a little bit, just in case you're new to Stream Like a Boss TV. So, my name is Tanya Smith, and one of the reasons why I absolutely love to go live is because I believe that live streaming itself can be a part of your core marketing strategy. I am someone who enjoys teaching people how to leverage live streams and video podcasts and what I call conversational video content to really go from crickets to cash, is what we say. So I am seeing some folks that are over in the house already over on Substack. It's so great to be here with you. Look, Substack has become a new home for me. So I'm seeing Marco Novo, what's up? Frankie Estelle, the growth coach. And I also see Dr. Stacy Moore, who is an OG in the house. And you know what's up. So look, when we do our lives on Thursdays, which is again our normal lives, I'm a lot more polished. I have all the fancy lighting on and all of that stuff. And I have a few tricks I'll show you today because I'm testing some things out as usual. But I also absolutely love to just kind of talk through strategy. Today is a little bit more chill, and I'll share with you some reasons why. I felt like there was a need or calling for me to come on today and to have a little conversation. And I also want to hear from you if you're feeling some of the things that I've been feeling over the past few months, and particularly just in this moment. There's some trials and some things that on a personal level that have been taking place that I really have felt deeply in my soul. And the thing is, none of us are robots. None of us are machines. I know that we have in the past been trained to believe that we must look like we are and like everything is perfect, especially in the world of Instagram and fame and reality TV shows. I get it. But the reality is that we go through things. And so when you're going through something, it doesn't mean that you stop, right? The things that work, your creation of content, the you putting yourself out into the world and having conversations with people, it does matter. And so I needed to come on today to say that. And so I do want to talk about something I'm calling the burnout reboot, the creator reboot, right? Let me acknowledge a few more folks that are in the house. Now, I'll tell you this too. While I have figured out a way to showcase Substack comments on screen, I'm not using that particular tool right now. So if you would like for your comments to show on screen, the YouTube channel is going to be the best place for you to be. But know that I am paying attention and I am watching in both spaces. I'm only live right now on YouTube and Substack. Love to see you too. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So I got Right Mix. My Sue Ann is on. Happy Sunday, Sue Ann. Just got here. Love seeing you. I love seeing you as well. That's what I mean. Now, I figured out a way to showcase comments on Substack, but I need to use Ecamm Live in order to do that. And there's a number of different steps. And honestly, I just didn't want the distraction today of going through all those steps. Today, I am using Restream. Restream is a different app for live streaming. So if you're someone who is looking into figuring out how, like, what are the right platforms for me, reach out. I have actually a couple of videos where I share some different comparisons, right? Ecamm is my favorite. It's my go-to. But Restream is a backup, and Restream is available for you even if you're on Windows because it's based inside. It's software that's in your browser. It's browser-based live streaming platform. Whereas Ecamm, I can use that only on a Mac computer. So just know that, okay? All right. If you're here, it's Sunday. Feel free to go ahead and type into the chat where you're from. Say hello and let me know that you're here. I want to acknowledge you personally, no matter where you are. The other thing I want to talk about is what the topic is for today. So the topic is creator burnout, the reboot plan. And I guess my question for you is this. If you're feeling stuck, if you're not feeling excited about doing whatever it is that you do. So if you're doing a podcast and you're kind of like, oh, I just can't do this right now. If you're feeling alive, if you're doing live streaming, Look, Thursday, I just sent out a note and said, I need a break. I need to focus on myself tonight and just chill. People understood. People understood because sometimes you're going to need that space. The key, I think, is going to be to communicate. The key is to make sure that you're letting folks know, especially if they've come to rely on you, right? And it's one of the reasons why last year I made a dramatic change in the way that I was doing things. Specifically, I made a commitment to myself that I would no longer make promises that I couldn't keep. Instead, what I would do is I would say, I'm going live most Thursdays. Sometimes it's the reframing, giving yourself permission, giving yourself the leeway and the latitude to be able to do the things that you need to do. And that's a part of the 3 tips I'm going to talk about in a second. Danny, what's up? So Danny is a podcasting genius herself, hailing from Washington State right now. Good to see you. Love it, love it. Okay, let's talk about this topic. It's hard for me to distinguish how much information I want to share on a personal level. So I'll just tell you within 24 hours, a couple weeks ago, within 24 hours, I received dramatic news from 2 different places, like really drastic, dramatic news. One of them had to do with a health situation dealing with cancer. The other one had to do with an employment situation. And it's just been a snowball of emotions. So, I am telling you this to give you context behind what I'm going to share with you in terms of this 3-part program, because I want you to understand I'm not out of the woods yet, but I am certainly in real time managing the situation. And I felt like it would be good to be transparent and to help you see that you're not alone. If you've been facing something like that, and you're still trying to keep the wheels on and you're still trying to drive, because a lot of us we just pretend that things are okay instead of just being real and saying, hey, I need to step away, right? So I want to, in real time, give you some pointers and some suggestions on ways that you can manage when you're in the moment, not afterwards, but when you're in the moment, so that you can really kind of see that and feel that from me. There are 3 things that I'm going to cover, and I'm going to go ahead and give them to you right now. But then I'll also, since I'm in Restream, I can actually type in real time, so I will do that. But the first step is going to be reset your purpose. So if you have your notepad and your pen, I'll pop this stuff up, and I'll leave it up because it will be available for you on replay on both Substack and YouTube. Reset your purpose is going to be tip number 1. The second tip is going to be create with energy, not obligation. We got to really hit on that. And tip number 3 is going to be reconnect with real people. Like reconnect with real people. So those are the 3 tips that we're going to go through, and I'm going to break those down into subtopics so that we can really dive into it. And I want to hear from you. So if any of this is resonating with you, or if there's a question that you have, I want you to definitely pop that question or that idea into the chat. I do not have all my big lights and stuff on, so it may look a little bit dark. If it's too dark, let me know and I'll fix it. I mean, I can do it with a click of a button, but I'm just chilling. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm just glad to be here with you. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. Absolutely. And they will. Sometimes you just can't see beyond the moment. But yeah, so Sue Ann says, snowball of emotions. Oh my gosh, I feel you. It rolls and it gets bigger sometimes before it melts. I'm trying so hard to get to the reboot myself. Okay, so thank you for sharing that, because it lets me know that I am not the only one feeling this way. And I feel like there are others as well. Substack folks, I see you over there. I see you over there. If any of this is resonating with you, pop it into the chat. I'm watching, I'm paying attention. Okay. So let's dig into the first one. And like always, I can't promise that I won't end up pulling up a chart or something, because y'all know, you know me. I do have some things that I'll share with you in terms of how I'm coping. And part of that has to do with really kind of going in and reassuring myself around the purpose and all of that. So I might pop up something. We'll see. Thank you for that, Sue Ann. Lighting is fine. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, here's tip number one. Remember, I said the first one is to reset your purpose. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pop this up. I will let me add this as a little lower third, if we will. Okay, tip one, because I really want you to get this. Reset your purpose. What does that mean to you? If you have a thought around what that means for you, what is resetting your purpose all about? When I say that, what comes to mind? If you have a one liner, put that into the chat. I want to know what you think that means or what it means to you, not what you think, because your answer won't be wrong. It is what it is for you. For me, it is about doing these three things. So the first thing is asking yourself, especially when you're in the moment where you're like, I need to put something out there. I have to. We're using these words, have to, need to, must. What is it about why you're creating your content right now? Do you get to? We need to reframe that, right? We need to reframe that. I get to create this content. I want to. I'm ready to. I feel like it's time to, right? More positive reframing sometimes of your rationale behind creating the content may be in order, but the first question is, why am I creating it right now? So on Thursday, when I sat down and I was like, yeah, I've got content ready, but why am I pushing through this moment? Like, why am I making myself, forcing myself to do this when I know I'm not at my best energy level? You've got to really kind of examine where you are in the moment and make some decisions around that. But also, overall, big picture, and this is something I had to look at on a broader scale. So we look at things from a telescopic point of view. We look at things like on a wide scale, and then we narrow it down to the moment. So narrowing it down to the moment was what I did on Thursday. But then coming back afterwards and over the weekend, and really over the past couple of months, looking at it from the larger telescopic view of why, what is the purpose behind what I'm doing? How is it aligned with who I am in this time? How is it aligned with what's going on around us culturally, societal wise? Like, why am I creating this? So thinking about, is the purpose of this to build a brand awareness? Is the purpose of this to serve and educate? Is it to empower other people? Is it to convert people into becoming clients? It could be a mix of those things. I don't know if you have been around. Some of you are not long-term followers of me on social and on YouTube and on other channels. So for those of you who know me, you may have heard me say this before. Hey, Marcia, I see you there. For those of you who know me, you may have heard me talk about the 5 reasons for content creation. And what I always like to do to examine, I look at, am I encouraging someone? Am I educating? Am I elevating the brand? Am I entertaining? Or am I showing empathy? Okay, let me do this. We can do this because it'll be fun. It's sort of like a whiteboard, but I'm actually going to use, have you used Napkin AI? Because I told you I love to use stuff. Like I love to show the visuals. So let's do this. We're going to create a visual. If you haven't used Napkin before, we're going to play with this right now, and I'm going to pop it up on screen. I didn't mean to do that one. Let's do screen share. Oh, this is from my last live. So I will come back and make sure to remind you about the Cast Magic webinar. Yes. But before I do that, let me share this screen with you, and we're going to play a little bit together because I got time. If you have a little time, then play with me for a bit. Okay. So I'm going to pop up something called Napkin, and I'll try to blow it up a little bit larger in just a second. But the 5 reasons for content. Or we can say 5 objectives or something like that, right? But let me blow this up a little bit more so that you can really see it. Okay. So the other thing I will do is let's make sure that that screen gets super big. I will do a different screen share view. Hold on. Let's blow it up this way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to switch. I'm doing it. There we go. Okay. So 5, let's call it, we'll call it 5 objectives. Okay. We'll get a little bit more formal. So entertain, educate, encourage, elevate your brand. So that's like a promotion, right? And then the last one would be to empathize. Okay. And so to give you some examples of what I'm talking about when you're entertaining, that's kind of easy, I think, in that entertainment is around the idea that you're doing something maybe to, it's just because it's fun. It's about the idea of you dancing or singing or telling jokes, and it's getting people to react in a way that brings them joy, laughter. It's entertaining, right? Educating, we know what education is. It's more about teaching or sharing something that will help people think in a different way. Most of my stuff is around the education industry, okay? Encourage is going to be more like, sharing affirmations and those type of things. Motivating people to do something that otherwise they didn't feel good about doing. I'm kind of doing that, I hope, today. I'm encouraging and I'm educating. Elevating your brand is about promoting, right? So you do have an aspect of promotion and sales. There should be, I think, if you're a business, no, I know if you're a business, you want to think about how am I elevating my brand and helping people to see me as the professional and the expert as I know I want to be, right? Okay. And then the last one is empathizing. And sometimes you empathize with people by telling stories and sharing maybe case studies and helping people to really kind of feel a certain way and to show that you feel a certain way as well, right? So when we're in napkin, what we can do is we can highlight our points and it creates an image for us, and we'll just pop an image so that you have this visual in here, okay? We'll say, which one will we use? I don't know. I kind of wanted one that was more colorful. We'll do that one. And this is not about core brand values, so we're going to change that and say these are content objectives. All right, so now we have our little picture up here, y'all. Okay, these are the 5 typical reasons that I create content. Now, if you think of any other ones that would fit you, absolutely put that in the chat. If there's one or more of these that resonate with the primary work that you do, I want you to pop your combo in the chat. If most of what you do, for instance, is entertainment and education, I know some folks that do that very well, pop that into the chat. If you're more of an encourager and an empathizer, put that into the chat. Empathizers typically tell a lot more stories and case studies, like I mentioned, okay? If it's about elevating your brand, there could be an element of that. What I want you to think about, though, if you do have elevate, it should not be 100% of your content. It should be maybe 20 to 30% of your content, and the rest of it should be one of these other ones, okay? But think about your combo, what that looks like for you. And I want you to pop that into the chat. Like, what's your main combo? If there were 2 or 3 of these that resonate with you when it comes to what you're putting out into the world, what does that look like? Okay. Danny Marie says, resetting my purpose means ensuring I'm in alignment and centered on my why. Otherwise, I need to take a step back. Yup. You are so correct. I feel the same way. I feel that way too. Love everything you pull from your. Thank you. Thank you. Napkin AI is pretty cool, y'all, and it's free. It's free to use. So it's absolutely a tool that you can use to create simple and easy visuals. So I thought I'd play with that for us today. Dr. Vibe in the house. I see you. Educate and elevate are your jam. Got it. Love it. Okay. So whatever is your combo, Think about that, but then also think about, and Francie Estelle says, encourage and empathize. Okay, I love beautiful combo, storytelling, encouragement, motivation, all of that. People need any combo or all of these things. So wherever you find yourself being most enthralled when it comes to your content, you got to get back to that. You got to think about, where do I play? Like, what's my primary purpose when I'm putting content out there? And the second part of this whole idea of what we're doing with resetting our purpose is reconnecting with past wins. So if you know that these are the things that you do so well, it's probably a good time for you to go back and to read through comments and testimonials and things that people have said about you. And if you haven't done a good job of collecting that yet, it's probably a good idea for you to consider, what can I put in place that will help me to capture more of that? Because in those moments where you're feeling burnt out and where you're feeling like it's time to give up, it's a good idea to get a reset, to not only internally check yourself about why you're doing the thing, but also look at what people have shared with you and told you. So one of the things that I love to use is, I use a tool called Endorsal. You could be using any other tool. There was one called Trust Mary, something like that. I can't remember. There's a lot of them. Whatever you use to collect testimonials. For me, if you were to go to my website at streamlikeaboss.tv, you will see at the bottom that there's a pop-up, but there's a carousel of rotating testimonials. That's because I've been using Endorsal for years now. So every time I work with a client, every time I have someone in my courses or wherever, I will reach out afterwards or even in the middle of our work together and say, I would love a testimonial. Would you mind sharing how you felt? Like, what did this do for you? How did it take you from point A to point C? Or whatever it is that you want to ask. And then now I can go back to that library and I can look through hundreds of comments and testimonies of things that I know that I've been able to do. It's social proof for other people, but it's also reaffirming for me. So what I'm saying to you is to reconnect with your past wins, not only to go back and review those testimonials and those comments that were positive, that were uplifting, that helped you to really see that you were in the right place, in the right seat, but also have a method in place that allows you to be able to do that easily and effectively. And if you haven't put that in place yet, I want you to really think about, how can I put that in place? The last part of this resetting your purpose thing is to create a one sentence mission for your live stream or podcast, because that's what I focus on, is conversational content, right? So I'm going to pop in here a statement that I want you to fill in the blanks for. A statement that I want you to fill in the blanks for. And I love it. I'm seeing your notes in here as well. Let's see. Do I need to pull this up on screen? Probably. So I'm just going to do a quick Google Docs. Let's just do that. I will pull this up and I will make it big. I'll try to make it super big for you. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. I'm going to pull this up on screen. No, let's make it really big, Tanya. Really big. Okay, right there. So whatever it is you do, okay? If it's podcasting, I podcast, I go live, I write books, whatever you do goes here to help who? Who's your ideal client? So you're thinking about, what is it that you do? You're reaffirming yourself with that one sentence, okay? Let me try to make it like this so it'll be easy. We'll do red here. We'll do red there. Okay, So this is the sentence I want you to think through. Okay. If you have something you want to pop into the chat, you can absolutely do that. But otherwise, this is self homework. This is for you. For me, I go live to help service providers and live stream video podcast creators with growth and revenue generation so that they can actually with workflows and systems for their podcast and their live streams so that they can grow their business and make a positive, wider impact on their world. Okay. What is your statement? So whatever you do to help your ideal client with whatever the core benefit is so that they can do what? And I've really had to sit down and get super crystal clear around this to kind of think about like, okay, well, am I clarifying my why? Like who am I doing this for? What am I doing? And I really, really took the time to kind of, I guess, narrow this down even more, right? One of the things that I know, I'll give you an example for me that kind of changed the game a little bit, is previously I was talking to people and I was like pulling teeth to try to get people, come on, you got to do video. You know you want to do it, right? And it was not my happy place because I'm like, I get it, but I understand it's not for everyone. And at the same time, I don't want to talk to people that I have to try to convince. So I had to shift it a little bit. And that's when I said, what I really want to do is talk to people who are live streamers and podcasters. I want to talk to people who are already using video and help them to systematize it so that they can really create these growth engines where they're going from crickets to cash, right? Where they're going from silent audiences to now I am making an impact. I'm growing my business. I'm converting people into becoming paying clients. And not only is it helping me, but it's also helping them and it's making a wider ripple. The more clarity I got around that, the easier it was to then say, okay, this is reconnecting with my why. This is really feeding me so that I can get out of the space of burnout. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? And do you see the slight difference? Where instead of constantly trying to pull and convince people, you're literally attracting and magnetizing. There is a difference. So think about that and how can you shift the statement? Let me blow it up again so you can really see it. Let's see. Let's blow that up so you can really see it. It's at 200% right now, but I think that's good enough. Hopefully you can see that. But does this make sense? If it does, and I know we have a slight delay, especially on Substack. Okay, Dr. Vibe is saying makes sense. Hey, Michelle, what's up? What's up? Dr. Vibe, I don't remember where I got this t-shirt. I got this t-shirt way back somewhere in life. That's not the one I need right there. But I'm definitely a Virgo through and through. My daughters are as well. All three of us are September babies, which is crazy. Okay. Michelle said it makes sense. Good, good, good. Okay, so that is the end of our first one. So reset your purpose was where we went first. And anything you can take away from that and use for yourself, I want you to leverage it to the fullest, okay? So resetting your purpose is tip number 1. Now, tip number 2 is to create with energy, not obligation. So I'm going to share a few things under this that Dr. Vibe, okay, so this is, hey, September. Create with energy, not obligation. This is what I gave an example of on Thursday. I was initially I was going to create with obligation, and then I remembered my commitment to myself. My commitment to myself, that I would step back, that I would honor my personal boundaries, that I would honor when I am at my best, and put myself out there only when I'm at my best and I can give in such a way that it's going to be received in a way that is taken well and that is used to do good, right? I was not at my best on Thursday. So, creating with energy, not obligation. I'm going to pop this one up. So, I need to type in the caption because I didn't do this ahead of time. My bad. Let's see. Let me pop it in here. Tip number 2, so that you have this on screen, is create with energy, not what? Not obligation. How many things do you do out of a sense of obligation? I used to do a lot out of obligation, especially when I was in my 20s and 30s, especially. It was like, well, I said I was going to do it and I'm committed to doing it. And I would force myself. My nails might be ground down to the bone. I might be bleeding and sweating. I might, put holes in my shoes, but I was going to get that thing done because I was obligated to do whatever the thing was. And we have to start giving ourselves more grace. We do. Don't force content that drains you. So if you're feeling like, I just can't talk about another resume today, if you're a career coach, right? You're like, oh my God, if one more person asks me a question about resume writing today, I'm just going to lose it. Maybe it's time to take a step back. Okay. And I'm not saying forever, but maybe you take a step back and decide this is not what I'm going to do today. Like I don't have the energy to do this in this moment. Because guess what? No one will be harmed unless you've committed to somebody specifically in terms of a paid contract and all those things. But most of the time, in most cases, nobody's going to pass away. Nobody's going to be ill. Nobody's going to get sick or worse because of the fact that you made a decision to take a minute and to breathe. So don't force content that drains you. That also means keeping in alignment with what you love to do. If you're no longer passionate about something, or you were talking about certain things out of a sense of obligation because somebody told you should, hey, this is where you're going to make money and therefore you should talk about these topics. Don't do that. Don't create content and build a whole business around topics that you don't even care anything about just because somebody said that that's what you're supposed to do in order to be SEO ready and all of that stuff. I told some of you this story about the relationship conference. Y'all, this is hilarious. Okay. My husband and I have been married now for 30 years. We're going to be 31 in November. That's awesome. At the time, we probably were around 20 something, and it was still very awesome compared to a lot of people who were in this particular circle of folks that I knew. And so this woman was holding a relationship conference. And so she was like, oh, I want you to come and speak at our relationship conference because I think because you and your husband have been doing so well that you can come and talk to others about that. And I thought, I can't, like, just because what works for us is working for us doesn't mean I can go on stage and talk to other people about this. But she kept asking and she kept asking and she kept asking. So finally I said, okay, I'll be in the conference. It was a virtual conference. Thank God. Right. But even still, the day came and I did the virtual stage and I felt like I was totally out of body. It was an out of body experience. Like I knew I was not passionate about the things that I was saying. I was just reading off a checklist that I put together, thinking that these things might be helpful for other people, but I don't know, right? I was almost late for the talk because I really didn't want to do it. And psychologically, I knew I should not be doing this. And afterwards, as people were asking, well, how can we get in touch with you and can we connect? I was like, no, because I don't want to keep talking about this. The point being, the moral of the story is, you don't have to talk about content or topics that don't resonate with you just because someone expects that of you. The more aligned you can be with what you love, with your passions, with your energy, with what you're truly a genius in, because all of us have genius in certain areas that other people won't. The more you can talk about those things, the more it will come off with joy and with enthusiasm. And it's going to make that connection with people in such a way that it just blossoms and it blooms. And it's something you're going to want to keep talking about. And so when they call, or if they don't even have to call because you'll have offerings around those things, it all just flies in formation. And that's what I mean when I say stop trying to force content that drains you. Another thing to think about with this particular topic of creating with energy, not obligation, is it's also a good time to monitor and to understand your energy levels. When are you at your best? And when are you slowing down in the day? I know that I love to get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because it's quiet time for me. It's energy time for me. It's not a time I want to talk, but it's a great time for me to write and to create. And I have all these ideas that apparently have been stewing in my subconscious mind that now need to come out and be put on paper, or I need to get on the computer and put them into play, right? I love doing that kind of thing. I love that. And so when you think about and you understand what your energy levels are, that's going to be useful. I used to do my live stream at a whole different time of day because somebody told me I needed to. Oh, you should go at this time because that's when people are going to be on and they're more likely to. Don't fall into the trap of obligation, y'all. When people are telling you, when the gurus are saying that, hey, you should send this email at this time because this is when more people are likely to. I get it. There is such a thing as metrics and research. But at the same time, when it comes to you doing any type of conversational content, especially since that's what my area of expertise is, I can tell you right now, you're at your worst when your energy level is at your worst, when it's at its lowest, okay? And I see some comments over here as well. No is a complete sentence. Dr. Vibe said, I know, right? Exactly. Dr. Stacy said, that's the question. Is it self-imposed? Yes, self-imposed obligations count too. Why are we obligating ourselves to things that maybe we shouldn't be? Let me see. You can have a passion about something, you can have a purpose, but it better be aligned with who you are. Hello. Hello. Right. I love it. Dr. Stacy Moore says, I am a midday performer from working hospitality, retail, and restaurant. My me work time is 9 to 12 p.m. Yes, so understanding when you are at your best is a really solid indicator. If you understand your energy levels, it's a good indicator of when you can show up for people at your best. So one of the things, a couple of things that I did, one is I found an app called Rise. I'm going to see if I can find it and I'll pop it up for y'all. It's on, yes, it's on both Apple and Google. So let me pop this up so you can see it right here. The power behind your next best day. This was an app early on that I picked up that I really, really, really enjoy. And I still to this day have this. It's a super affordable subscription, but you don't even have to do the subscription. You can do the free version. But the Rise Sleep app was one of the things that I chose to put on my phone. And it actually works on my phone as well as my Apple Watch since I have an Apple phone and an Apple Watch. But it's also in the Google Play Store. So this tracking my biorhythms using this has been super helpful. It also helps to not only track your biorhythms, but it also tells you like when you're like sleep, if you're getting enough sleep, which is important, especially the older you get, it's super important, y'all, because we have Alzheimer's and dementia have run in different spots in my family, and it's something I'm very conscientious about. You really want to pay attention to your sleep cycle and get enough sleep. And so tracking using the Rise app on my watch and on my phone have been great. Additionally, recently I picked up something. You can see this little ring. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. Recently, I picked up this ultra human ear ring. Ultra human ear ring. That is a ring. It's a device that tracks, because I don't like to wear my watch to sleep, but it tracks some of the same things in here. It also tracks heart rate and some other things, right? So, health wise, I was looking for ways to look at logistically how am I doing at different points of the day? Am I drinking too much caffeine after a certain time of day that's keeping me awake and therefore I don't get enough energy? And now the next day when it's time for me to do my live, I'm totally exhausted. Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating enough of the right foods? Those are things that do matter when it comes to you putting yourself out into the world. So when I talk about this topic of creating with energy, it's not just about the not obligations part, but it's also finding out when you're at your best during the day and the evening, if that's your choice, right? I like to go to bed early, but I love getting up early in the morning and doing what I do. My live stream is a perfect combination. The timing in which I do that is a combination that I've figured out after examining and evaluating and trying things where I know I'm going to be really at a good, solid high point. But I also know that more of my folks, because of the niche that I talk to, will be present. So finding that happy place, it takes a little bit of tweaking and some lab work. You're experimenting, but it is worth it to do that. But from the obligation standpoint, you get to say, I don't want to do the big thing. Now, here's the second part of that, because remember I told you there were subtopics under each of these tips. So the don't force content that drains you thing is important. A second thing is to record something small. If you feel like, you know what, I just can't do that hour-long marathon podcast today, why not go and look at, is there a question that someone's asked that maybe I can answer? I did that this week. So instead of doing my full live, there were people who were asking me questions. And there was one in particular that sent a note on Facebook. Actually, I was tagged on Facebook to answer a question. So I said, okay, why don't I take hey, tech troublemaker, what's up? You're so funny. Hit that like button, y'all. One of the things that she asked about Substack. So she was in a Substack group. And so instead of me writing out this super long thing, she was asking about Substack and Go High Level and how I'm making those work together. Like, what is my method for collaborating or partnering the two of those spaces? Because I have a different way of thinking maybe than the group that we were in. I decided I'm not going to post my thoughts here because I don't want to counter what the author and owner of this Facebook group has said. I don't want to do that. But she's specifically asking me about how to balance the two. And so I sent her a short video. And I walked through, here's my setup, and this is why. But here's what you can think about that may be more useful for you. And once I did that, I felt like a little energy burst. Even though I wasn't ready to do my full live stream, doing that 2 to 3 minute video to help somebody else was really it was helpful for me. It gave me a refresh. It gave me a little bit of a reboot. So I'm sharing with you some things, as I mentioned, as I'm going through and processing through my own situation right now. These are things in real time that I'm doing to reboot. And I hope you'll find this helpful. I hope it's helping you. Let me see what else I got in here. Yes, Roy. Lately, I've been spending more planning than actually creating. I love the ideation process, but I need to commit and create. Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with sometimes just taking a seat instead of putting everything out into the world and just forming ideas and brainstorming. I know you don't want to brainstorm yourself into analysis paralysis. But at the same time, it's so much fun to really dream and to get things out of your head onto paper, which I did. I'll show you something else that I did since I was showing you napkin and how that works. I won't show my full funnel strategy yet because I'm not really ready to introduce a couple of things that are coming, but I will show you that I kind of this is one of the things I did, Roy, is I went back and I said, I need to rethink through my content pillars because there are new skills that I've added to my plate over the past 6 months that I want to incorporate into my business. And so I went and I played. There's a couple of tools I play with. So I showed you napkin before and I'll show you napkin now, right? For me, I went back and I said, well, let me go through my content pillars. And so I played with ChatGPT, of course, talked to it, told it, hey, based on some of the things I've been asking you and what we've created in our project folders, I want to narrow this down into 5 revised and improved content pillars. And it helped me to come up with these that I then ended up going and tweaking. And then I created an image that I'm going to be using throughout a lot of different content, right? And so now having these 5 pillars allows me to, just like always, to make sure that the content I'm creating is focused and it's clear and it's aligned with my branding as we talked about in section 1 in our tip 1, okay? So yeah, there's nothing wrong with you taking the time to brainstorm and to ideate because that is a fun process. It's just that you then want to think about, okay, at some point, I now need to release myself to be able to take the actions. So I'm in the action phase right now of a lot of the things that I ideated on for the last few weeks as I was going through some trauma recovery, right? Yeah, I love it. Let's see. I am thinking bigger, but I'm apprehensive about the creating as my perfection. Yeah, the procrastination and the perfection thing, it does get in the way. I will break out of this though. I love the positive statement. That's the thing. You will give yourself permission to be in that space and to just like kind of bathe in it for a little while. But then there has to be a point where you're taking action on the things. And if it means taking a small action, that's what I mean when I say that our step number 2 is creating with energy, not obligation. The energy may be that right now I can only just do one thing. So one of the actions that I was able to take, a small action that allowed me to really leverage something I was already doing, yet to also look at big picture, how is this going to lead me into the big picture thing that I'm getting ready to do, is to simply go and to revise my quiz platform and to make sure that everything that I had in there was still in alignment with what I know my future focus will be, and to make a couple of tweaks and some changes in some of the results and the reports and what those look like. It's not busy work. It was a part of my life work. It was a part of the reboot process to be able to do that. So give yourself the space to do that. Don't beat yourself up and think, I'm thinking too long, right? Let me see. Yes, Dr. Vibe said it. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. A good 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day is key. I know a lot of people say that, and you will find, especially as you do, because my background is in psychology, y'all, in case you didn't know this. There are others who may say differently in terms of the hours. You need to know what works for you. And so you definitely can work with your physician, with your doctor, and with the tools that are at your disposal now, because there are lots of them, to know what your adequate sleep would be. On average, what is recommended is going to be the 7 to 8. Some people need longer, some people need shorter, but ultimately find out what that means for you. When I talk about really looking at your energy levels, it is a personal thing. It is something that you will have to find out for yourself. And it doesn't just matter that somebody on the outside or in an article or, wherever tells you this. You need to understand yourself and get to know yourself better so that you can ask the right questions when you are in a medical situation, right? Or when you are in a content creation situation, you know how all of these things health-wise are playing into what you're producing, how productive you are or are not. The last point in this creating with energy, not obligation, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to cringe when I say it. Okay? Is that fair? I'm going to say it. Let it be messy raw or unscripted? Cringe. Because some of you know that I also fight with myself about perfection. I also fight with myself because I like things to be pretty and to be neat and to be nice. But sometimes that's not what the situation calls for. Sometimes the situation calls for you to show up raw and unbothered. One of my best performing videos on Substack so far has been when I got in and I did the live chat overlay test, and I was just having a ball. I was just having fun playing with it. I didn't have a script. I ended up, answering questions, and some of the things that came out, I was like, oh, I could probably do a video on that. But just having the raw, unscripted moments, that's what connects with real people, because real people right now want to meet and know other real people. So your transparency of where you are, who you are becoming, all of those things can really help you to attract and connect with the people who are meant to be a part of your community, your circle, meant to be influenced by you and to influence you. So don't be afraid of the messy and the raw and the unscripted. The goal is connection, not perfection. That's the goal. Okay, we're heading into our final round, and it's number 3. Tip number 3 is reconnect with real people. I actually like this one. Let me type this in here for you. 3, reconnect with real people. So I'm going to share some of the ways that I've been doing this and get your thoughts too. How are you reconnecting with real people? This is one of the fun things about doing live streams. I love that you are here and we are talking through the chat, right? In and out of the chat. Let me see. Yes. Educated Natural said this. Let me pop this up. Now, that's a big one for me. I fight with perfection too. I'm always unscripted, but my raw comes with a disclaimer. I love it. Wait, this is on the last point, so I need to pull these up because I missed them. You are so right. There has to be a balance between being perfect and doing what is necessary. You are not alone in that. Thank you. I rarely script. Yeah, but likely should. I think there's a nice balance, right? There's a nice balance. Sometimes you can be scripted and other times you don't have to. And we get to choose those moments. I'm not always scripted anymore. I used to be pretty scripted. I'm just kind of like, it's a good mix of here's what I want to make sure I get across, but also here's how I'm feeling right now. And I feel like maybe I need to say this thing because of the vibe, because of the things that are trending around me, because of whatever, right? But you get to choose the mix that works right for you. Yes, there's a question in here from Dr. Vibe that I will definitely answer. I will come back to that. Dr. Vibe, I see it. Okay, let me go into number 3, like I said. So number 3, reconnecting with real people. Reconnecting with real people, that's happening right now in this moment. So as you're creating live streams, video podcasts, here's why I'm going all in on conversational content and why I think it is a thing and why I think that it is so important and why I'm teaching everything I can around it to get more people to do it. Conversational content is not just you lecturing at other people. It's not a webinar on demand. It's not pre-recorded content. It is you having real conversations like we're doing right now with people who are in the chat, who are on your Zoom call, who are in an audience with you in real time, like in real life. It's that type of conversation allows you to show up as a real person, connect with people on a human level. It builds that know, like, and trust factor that we all have heard about from Zig Ziglar way back, right? That still applies. Builds that much quicker. That bridge gets built much quicker. than it has with any other type of content. So I think it's really important when you do create these types of content. I think that you need to use names like we're doing here, reply to people's comments, be courteous, be professional. I don't know what your personality type is, and maybe you're not going to be like me, and I'm not like you, and that's okay. Whatever way you see as courteous, professional, and caring, I think it's important for people to know that you care about them, right? It's about using names, it's about replying to comments, it's about featuring stories in your shows and in what you talk about. Maybe not just your own stories, but case studies of people that you've worked with and that you've done business with or that you've helped provide solutions for. It's all of those things. It's also about putting yourself in position where you can interact with people. Now, for me personally, what I've done over the last several months has been real conscious about getting out of my introverted skin and cave. So 2020, that was the year everybody was kind of at home. I enjoyed that time. For those are my fellow introverts, you get it. You're like, yeah, that was my happy place. But I also recognize the power of really being with people. And I recognize that this year in particular, I wanted to just get out and go put myself out in front of people in real life, not just on screen, but in real life. So, in addition to me doing my live streams regularly, of course, I also joined a group, an organization called the Dames. It really connected with me. The women were powerful, are smart, they are givers, and they are highly generous, just like I feel I am. We trade resources, we support each other and encourage each other. I was looking for a space where I could physically be with other people who I felt I resonated with. And so that became a spot for me. Additionally, I started doing more in-person visits. Like if there are people in the Dallas area that have a spot like a new podcast studio, then I went to go and visit. I saw Sharia Sutton, her new podcast studio the other day. We went and had coffee at her studio, and I was able to just kind of hang around. And it wasn't about me doing a show with her or anything like that. It was simply me doing a visit to talk to her in real life, to give her a hug. She gave me a hug back, and she showed me her studio. Things like that, and really seeing people. Hey, when I flew to Melbourne, Florida a couple of weeks ago to do the podcast awards, I could have done that virtually. I could have just stayed behind the scenes and done that virtually. Instead, I decided to go and hang out on the beach and to feel the wind and to see a little bit of sand and to see people. What are you doing to connect with people? What are you doing to help boost your emotions and to be in a better place? So being around people that are happy and that are joyful and enthusiastic, that can help as well. And not just online, but also in real life. What does that look like for you? Spending time with my family. My eldest daughter came to visit. My husband has been here. So having that time to connect with them has been really important. All of those things do matter. I think they count when it comes to your content. Is how are you plugging into something and recharging? Taking a moment to sit out on my back porch. My husband cleaned off the back porch and got all those leaves off. So now we can actually sit on the patio and not be kicking around leaves or worrying about if something's under there. That simple things, simple things. Start a creator win folder. A folder where you're saving screenshots. Remember, I talked about testimonials and things, but sometimes maybe it's just a simple post that somebody sends you on a Facebook Messenger post or somewhere else. Or maybe it's not even to you or meant for you, but it's a message that you saw that really inspired you. Take a screenshot of it and keep it in a folder that you have on your phone. For me, because I have Apple, I use Quick Notes. For you, it might be something else. Keep screenshots of things that make you happy, that you can instantly feel joy and feel enthusiasm and feel like in a better mood. Buy candles, right? Your favorite scent. I love lavender. I love lemon scented things. I love semi fruity things. What's your candle scent or fragrance that you love the most? Mahogany teakwood, I think, is one that one of my daughters likes a lot. What is it that just brings you a smile? Those are things that we need to think about. We can invest in, right? Hicks, I'm so glad you're back, sir. It's good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here with all of you. It's good to feel your energy, and I hope that you're feeling mine, and I hope that it is positive. Yes, celebrating wins. Ooh, Dr. Vibe has a motivational music playlist. That's a good one. Music, scents, people around you. What's in your win folder? What's in your win folder? What's in your joy folder? You can call it that. Call it whatever you want to, but something that gives you an instant boost of energy. Create that and keep it in front of you. Keep it nearby. Ask your folks around you, what do you need more of right now? How can I help you? When you start reaching out to other people and thinking of ways that you can serve, that's another booster for me. And maybe it boosts you too. When you find ways, so I was looking, for instance, when we talk about the people thing, I was looking for what are some volunteer opportunities that I can connect to right now. So I can take the focus off of what's going on here and then focus on these other people and what they need. When you can do that, another win. So these are all things in the moment that are helping me to reboot, that I hope will help you to reboot as well. I see a lot of comments over here. Thank you, Thaddeus. Thank you, Dr. Vibes. Dr. Stacy in the house. Hicks, the educated natural. Fatima Bay, the mind shifter. Love it, love it, love it. And I do want to pop this up again. Let me see. Right Mix by Sue Ann. There's so many folks here. Thank you for hanging out and connecting and for taking a little bit of time with me. I'm going to recap real fast. I'll do a really quick recap. Our tip number 1 was to reset your purpose so that we can be totally aligned. We understand where we are right now, and we examine whether or not that is the place that we want to continue to be, or if we're ready to move or shift to something else. The second step was to create with energy, not out of obligation, but being energized and understanding when do we have that energy and where are those levels, right? What does that look like for us throughout the day? And plugging in to that. And the third and final tip was to reconnect with real people. Reconnecting with real people. If this reboot plan hit home, definitely hit the like button. Share this video with a friend who's been feeling content fatigue, because they might need it too. They might need it too. Bookmark it as a replay for yourself when you need it the most. What I will do is put together a 60-second creator reboot playlist. I think I'm going to put something together for you. I'm thinking this through as we're doing this in real time. But I'm going to put together a one-page document. So if you want that, definitely make sure you're subscribed on our list. So let me pop that up for you real quick here too. And let me say this, because I almost forgot. Let me pop this up. Tuesday and next Saturday, we're hosting the Cast Magic webinar. So if you want more technical tips, I know today we talked a little bit more about philosophical and soft skills, but if you want some technical tips around how to use Cast Magic, which is amazing for repurposing, I'm going to be hosting the first launch of the Cast Magic webinar where I will tell you how I use it fully in my podcasting and video streaming workflow. So I will give you all the details, but go to that link right there, Learn Cast Magic. And the best way to actually access it, let me pop it up here too in case you need the link. If you can't get the QR code to come up, Here's the link so that you can go directly to it. I would love to have you on Tuesday, and next Saturday we'll be doing that. In order for you to be subscribed to our website, all you got to do is go to this link right here, streamlikeaboss.tv. One of the things that you'll be encouraged to do when you go to that link is to take our quiz. I'd love for you to take the quiz. You can even go directly to streamlikeaboss.tv/quiz. What the quiz is designed to do is simply to help you to understand your archetype. So your live stream vibe is what we call it, but it's a personality quiz, and it takes you through a series of different questions that will then assign you into one of 4 different types of archetypes. It's fun to do, and there is a workshop that goes with it. I'm actually going to do that workshop live again here soon, but we got stuff is what I'm telling you. So feel free to come and join me for any of that if you're interested. And if not, I just had a good time hanging out with you here. And I just appreciate that you took the time to come on a Sunday. So we're about to wrap this thing up, y'all. Again, visit us online at streamlikeaboss.tv. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, whatever you do in the place where you're watching this, and stay connected. Let me see what other quick questions we might have in here. I can't wait for I know. Radiance by Raytilia pops up a notice about things that she had in here. I need to pop these up to acknowledge, because I love that you are getting something from this. For me, resetting my purpose was getting the wrong people to make room for the right people. So getting rid of the wrong people, yes. You're welcome, Radiance by Raytilia. That matters too. These are all choices. Thanks for everything today, Tanya. So insightful and in alignment with my situation at the moment. Mine too, Sue Ann. We are sisters in that space right now. I'm wishing you the best as well with whatever it may be. Thank you for the hearts and the loves. Thank you for the hearts and the loves over on Substack too, y'all. Dr. Vibe said, don't forget my question. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, let me do this. I'm going back to your question. Your question was, and then we'll wrap up after that. You asked me, how does my background in psychology influence what I do, I think? Influence what I do in terms of, there it is. How have you applied your psychology background to your content creation journey? Well, I can tell you a couple of things. One of the things is, because I love studying people and the way they think, and because I've studied and researched, there's a number of different ways. The biggest thing I will tell you is this, that I believe truly and firmly that there is no one right way for anything. What we have to do as individual peoples and creators is to expand our thinking beyond just what's right in front of our face. So as we're creating content, we need to know that there are more than just that single way to do so. And so what I have learned and how I've applied it to my content creation journey is I've allowed myself to expand my thinking so that I don't just have to write a text post blog. I can also do an audio version, or I can do a video version, because people are consuming my information in different ways, and that's okay. I also have learned not to beat my head against a wall trying to force people to do video when it's really not their jam. I understand that there are individual gifts and ways that people think, and ways that people not only consume information, but they deliver information. And so my goal is to try to find different pathways to connect with the folks who need me. And if they don't need me, to connect them with the people who would be their best resource. That's my easiest and probably shortest answer. I love it. Okay, so that's what I got. And I hope that you all enjoyed it. And I forgot to do this, but next time I will. So y'all, I did get a new play toy. And I'm going to show you real quick. This is me. Hey. I did get a new toy, and I'll have to talk about this in an upcoming video, but I'm able to switch between scenes. Thank you, Dr. Vibe Show. I appreciate you. Yes. I'll talk about this in another time because it is more techy. It didn't quite fit today, but I like that I'm able to switch. I actually have three different positions. I don't have the third one up right now, but three different camera angles. And I've been playing with it and thinking that this is really fun. So now, when and if my dog, he hasn't come up here yet, but when he comes up here and he's pulling on me and you can't see him, I'll show him in the background because it's funny because he's just doing like this while I'm trying to talk. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of the Sunday, y'all, and enjoy your week. And just really kind of find ways to reboot, revive your energy, and just renew your thinking about how you create content and why you do it. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And that's what we will all believe and we will hang on to. And we'll do the things that we can to make an impact on those things that we can make an impact on. And for those other things, we will pray and we will have faith and we will do the things that we're able to do to stay positive and focused on the prize, the main outcome. All right. Take care, y'all. And I'll see you next time.